wish to ask Stella to give us some feedback from week 3 as we wait for the others to join in. Please, Stella.
Hi. For me, week 3 was quite interesting, especially learning about cloud masking. It was quite an interesting observation for me, particularly the two methods. I'm trying to open my sandbox, that's why. Particularly the two methods that we're using in identifying cloud mask. The thing that stood out for me, especially once you select the images that you use for cloud masking, is that the time period of the images. In it, like initially before we learned about African data cube, you normally have to select a time period of images to look which one has images that are, how do I say, that are clear and which one are not clear. But the beauty about using African data cube that stood out for me is especially how when you put on the timelines and then you try to view the images, like when you try now to see all the images that are particular there. With Africa Data Cube, it brings out all of them in one time frame, but however, it gives you the view analysis of being able to see images that don't have cloud and those that have cloud at the same time. But the more interesting one, as much as you cannot see what happens in the background, is how when you do cloud masking, especially I can't remember the name of that method, something, it's geometric.
Geomedian.
Yeah, geomedian method. For me, it was quite interesting to see how, as much as when you do it on a software, when you do cloud masking on a software, as it doesn't remove all the clouds, but however for geomedia, as much as it's some pixels remain with a little bit of haze, it still is an interesting way of seeing what clearly what is behind it. And so for me, that was quite an interesting learning scheme. The thing that I learned is if you choose a particular area that has a lot of images over time, like I realized one part had 61 stack images, so you cannot load all of them to particularly view them, but it was quite interesting to see the analysis. Yeah, probably when question time comes, I also have one more question to ask that was, learning through it.
Thank you very much, Stella. Since you have the microphone, please go for the question.
So when I was going through it, I learned there was this part you call the mean good data. Like there's that value you placed as 0.7. I just wanted to understand, is it a standard value? How does one come up with that value? What happens if I choose a lesser value? And what happens if I choose a value that's higher than that? It's still something that I'm trying to do today with the sandbox, but it can be quite interesting if you could explain for us how you chose that value. Yeah.
Thank you very much, Stella. The value is based on a 0.7 is like 70% cloud-free data. So getting a 90% in some parts of Africa is not very easy. So even some areas like in the middle of the continent, like Cameroon, there, even getting a 0.5, it's a little bit tricky. So that is the kind of measurements you're talking about. 0.5 being a 50%, 70 being like a 70%. And this should be the same when we are trying to download data on the USGS website. You normally see somewhere for the cloud percentage.
Yeah, there's usually a place for cloud percentage 10, 0 to 10. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So thank you very much, Stella, for sharing your experience with the various the training material, especially from the last weeks. And we are very happy with the progress you've made so far, and also bringing out the opportunity for getting cloud-free data on the percentages. That is fairly something you've understood. So I wish to ask someone else to ask a question, and also very much welcome Wallace from Mofa, Ghana. Welcome so much, Wallace. Are you able to connect?
Yes, sir. Thanks so much.
Welcome, my chief. We can also start with you. Do you have some comments on the training for the last weeks?
Not for now, sir.
Thank you very much, Wallace. I wish to ask any other volunteer. Eric Mwala, have you been able to look at the materials?
Yes, I was able to look at it. I went through the procedure, and the good thing was that I was able to have the results that I was supposed to have. Yeah. So and I was also able to go through the assignment that was given to I think I'm gradually catching up. There are a few things that some of the codes. I mean, we need to understand what some of them really mean. Yeah. So that's an area that we may have to get maybe a fewer material or clarity with some of the codes. I mean, what they mean.
So this is like an explanation of some of the steps, and also maybe giving you more information about what's happening in the background.
Yes, because for some of the, for example, you see something like geomedia composites. I mean, why do we have geomedia underscore composites? Like that kind of understanding. I mean, the codes that we have for each of the scripts. That's what I mean.
Thank you very much, Eric. Oguz or Edward, would you like to add something in response, please?
Can you repeat the question, please?
The question was he wanted more information on some of the codes in the notebooks, like more explanation of what is happening at every step, or even after every line, and also some of the terms he's seeing like geomedian underscore. I understand some of this is fairly new to some of us, and maybe some of us might need some explanations, like in the box on top, just to show maybe it's a small explanation.
We actually had a long discussion on how to explain a geomedium, because it's not an easy concept. Honestly, I don't think I'm the best person to answer the question, but I will get back to the training team with that, so that the person who wrote the code can put in a much better explanation. Just in summary, though, the geomedian is a mathematical concept where you're looking at the median value in a very multi-dimensional space, as opposed to just linear kind of a thing. So, but we had some trouble finding a good example of illustrating it, but especially geomedian. I will bring that to the training team. Did we, Wallace, is there, did we ever link to the paper explaining geometric medians in the training material?
I think Stella saw it, also Edward. So maybe we should.
Yes,
Yep.
I think I just wanted to also bring it. Eric, hello, Eric Muller.
I'm here.
Yeah, please, did you have a chance to look at the section where before we started with the how to use the geomedian composite function?
Yes.
Did you have a chance to go through the explanation of why we needed to do a composite of satellite imagery?
Yes, I did.
Please, you did.
Yeah, I did. My what I was also referring was that, for example, like the codes that are there, some of them, the codes. I get it, but the understanding behind why we have some of the codes there, for example, the geomedia underscore composite. I mean, why do we have it, and is it linked to something else? Because if it is part of the script, then it means that is linked to something. That is why we bring the code geomedia underscore composite. I mean, comma, bands. You know, that is what I'm referring to.
Oh, okay. So Eric, if I get you want to you should give further explanation on the functions, that's the codes that is being written. So for instance, the geomedian and the composite is a variable. So you should give a more definition of the variable. Also, if you talk something like the RGB, you have to give more explanation on what the RGB stand for and how best you can use it. If I get the question right.
Yes, that's what I'm
Oh.
referring to. You know,
Oh, okay.
for some of them they are clear. The RGB we know is red, green, blue. And you sort of understand it. But when it comes to the geomedia, for example, geomedia composite, why do we have that code there? Is it linked to somewhere within the script? That is why we have it in there to ensure that whenever we have it and we want to run it, then that means is it linked to something to run it?
Okay. So Eric, let me just give an explanation on the geomedian composite you just explained here. Please, I want to share my screen.
Please do.
Okay. Thank you, Ken. Okay, please, can you see my screen? Hello, please, can you all see my screen?
Yes, we can, sir.
Yeah.
Okay, so hello, Eric. I wanted to use this one. I just wanted to find if you can use this one as an example to explain it here.
Sure, you can.
Yeah. So what you see here, the geomedian underscore composite, what you see here is a variable that you have declared. So anything you see behind an equal sign is a variable. And what it does, it stores values for you. So based on the explanation we had on the composite, we realized that you can actually use the XR underscore the geomedian function to build a geomedian composite, meaning a yearly geomedian composite, meaning we are going to add all the images together from January to December and identify the median, the geomedian of that pixel. So after you have been able to do that, the results, when it comes out, we want to store it somewhere so that we can use it in a different line or at a different location. So whatever is being processed here will be stored in the geomedian composite here.
Okay.
That's why we came to the RGB. We're able to use the geomedian composite here. So
Okay.
the geomedian composite you see here is a variable. You can actually change it to any name you prefer.
Okay.
But for
Okay.
we just wanted you to know that after processing this area, the end result will be stored within this variable.
Okay. So I heard you mentioning that the SR geomedian is a function.
Yes, it's a function.
Oh, okay. So that means it is part of the script within the system.
Yes. So it's the same as the RGB. So just as the RGB are scripts within the system,
Okay.
the XR geomedian is also the same function within the system.
Okay.
Thank you very much, Edward, for that good explanation. I can see we've been joined by someone called Betty S. Would you care to introduce yourself, please? Thank you. Okay, then we can go for comments from Charles Coffey. Any comments on the training? Maybe we can move to Dr. Rosemary.
I just actually wanted more explanation on media, but also why the 0.7 is critical in doing what we call DA analysis. And I was wondering, comparing 0.7 with other like Africa data cubes where you get various, data analysis programmatic. How can we understand the soil composition, the cloud masking with using the 0.7 kind of framework?
Thank you very much, Rosemary, for your question. This particular instance is that we made the analysis easier within the DA Africa because then in the ARDC we had to define, we had to manually do a cloud statistic notebook separately. Then after discovering the exact timelines, then you go to your other analysis to go to specific dates. So with these particular values that we have and this particular sandbox notebooks is that you can specify the range of cloud cover percentages. So a value of 0.7 means 70% is fairly fair looking from Egypt to South Africa, most of the areas with cloud cover. And also depending on the times, the days, like Edward has a different experience of what they have in Ghana, and I have maybe a separate explanation. And then if you're living next to Lake Victoria or Lake Tanganyika, you have these heavy cloud cover at certain times and certain dates. So it's a speculative figure that after you run the analysis, it gives you the exact time or exact time steps that have been discovered after you run this analysis. Edward, please, you can add more.
Yeah, because I know people have used said that actually so easy that you've made it so simple, and that's what I wanted to come out during the training, how simple it has been made using from other analysis that has been done before.
Okay, so I also wanted to add, so just as, okay, thank you. So just as Ken explained, the 0.7 value also is not a constant figure. You can actually also manipulate it depending on the area you are. Especially if, for instance, if you are working within the rainy season, putting a threshold of 0.7, which is equivalent to 70% of free cloud cover, you can end up getting no value at all. So putting it there is just to help you get more clearer images from the satellite images. So it will make the filtering much easier, and it's also quite faster. So the 0.7 also, you can actually also change it to any value you want. Sometimes some people also prefer to use 0.9, which is 90% free cloud cover. So that's also the explanation I also wanted to add to it.
Thank you very much, Edward. Musa, have you been able to look at the training materials? I know you are recently introduced by your colleague Charles. Maybe you can give us your feedback on the training, whether you've looked at the material or if things are going very well, please.
Okay, thank you. I went through the material from session 1, session 2 also, even session 3. I managed to pass through the material. I did some practice, and to me it was nice because I'm not new to Python language. I've been using this Python language. Maybe the comment is to those who are new to Python language, some more descriptions should be added, especially to on how to use, as my colleague said, on how to use variables, on how to use this, because it seems that they have developed its own modules, because in Python we have these modules, but speaking on there, it seems that you have your own modules. So it is supposed to have more descriptions based on those modules, because I was thinking that what if we assume that there is no there? Will you be able to work outside of there? Because the language lesson is Python. So Python is a generic language that can be used anywhere. So let's assume that there is no data cube. Will you be able to work out of there? Because they are using their own packages or modules. So it needs more descriptions on those modules. Thank you. That is my comment.
Thank you very much, Bonamusa. This is well put, and I think we'll work on also getting more documentation on the material, as I've mentioned. So we could move to Selassie Akaho from GSS. You've been very quiet in our sessions. Please give us some remarks on the training feedback, please.
So personally, I have not had any issues in using the platform. It's been going smoothly. And I think the explanations given are well, like explanatory enough. So I get a good overview of what exactly is needed and then what has to be done. Yeah, so on my side, I've not had any personal challenges. I sometimes change the variables a couple of times to suit what.
Thank you very much, Selassie. Our very own Wallace, any comment on the training material?
Basically, I don't have much, but I would like to make reference, a follow up with my colleague before Selassie's comment about the about more explanation on the Python aspect and the coding, so that those who don't have experience with Python or coding will have a better understanding of how things will be going or how things should go. I think that would be it.
Thank you very much, Wallace. Dr. Boca, any comments on the training material? Baka?
No, I'm okay. Thank you. I'm okay.
Thank you very much. Boca, you said you're calling from Dakar, University de Dakar.
I'm
Okay, so you're working closely with CSE? Okay. So we were joined by Betty S. Would you have any comments,
Okay.
Betty? Or maybe the person using the Zoom, Betty S.
Okay.
Oh, Baka, you had a comment, even if it's in Francais?
no.
Kind commenter. Okay, no problem.
No, it's okay. It's okay.
Darian. Geoinformation, if you are geoinformation, please introduce yourself and tell us more about your experience in the material, possibly your full names. Or have we been joined by someone from the cloud? So anyway, thank you very much for the very good feedback. At least I'm able to summarize that we need maybe more information on the Python, maybe possibly extra materials on the same. Also, the other part I wanted to ask, were the training videos sufficient? Oh, yes. Dr. Boca, please, your question, please.
Yes, I just want to make one suggestion, because when you explain, can you show the code? It's more easy for us to show the code and try to understand the explanation. Thank you.
Bexi Boko. Sir Wallace, comment?
Yes, I think you were asked when our colleague can actually type. If he can, his voice is not coming through, he should type for us to hear. You were asking a colleague to introduce himself, so I think maybe he might be having a challenge.
Thank you, Wallace. This is quite sometimes happens a lot, but we are grateful that we are all able to join and connect. Even if now I ask for a group photo, would we be almost halfway, or any other person with a comment?
Sorry, Ken. Hi.
Yes, Martha, please.
Before I give out my comment, I just wanted to know if you guys worked out about my question that I asked in session 2.
If you remind us, this was the part for selecting the coordinates on the user interface.
Yes.
So I think this one, my very able developer August and team, we are working very hard on this. And this was the selection of points, but we gave you the alternative of uploading your KML or shapefile. That can possibly work for now as we work on the magic. Please bear with us. Also,
No.
Martha, are you still interested in the use case on the land degradation around Dodoma area?
Yes, I am, and I'm working on it.
Okay. So
Yeah.
this means session, we are all looking forward to session 4. I can see by the look of the mood in the room. So in case you don't have any other question, we can put on our cameras and take a group photo so that we can post to the group and see who else is joining us next time. So now at least we are 70%.
Sorry, Ken.
Yes, madam.
Mr. Gambi wanted to say hello.
Yes, sir. Karibu sana.
Yes. Hey, how are you there?
Tuko salama. We are very well, sir.
Yeah, my name is Benedict. I think I'm not very new, but I know Dr. Ken knows me very well.
Yes, my next
And
president.
yes. And then we have been working together.
Mm.
But at this moment, of course, I've been busy because of the several activities. But in fact, I'm always following your classes, your session. And I'm so comfortable that everything, of course, is going on very well. And I presume maybe in the near future, when I'm going to have enough time, I'll join you and I will start perfectly to make sure that now I have to be on board and starting working together and then see on how we can make Digital Earth Africa move and, of course, prevail as planned. But I'm with you guys.
Thank you very much, Bona Benedict, and you're our able champion in Tanzania. Looking forward to more engagement with you. Thank you so much. So, Dr. Boca, you have a question before we take a group photo and maybe end the session early for you to start on the materials?
No, it's okay. Thank you. It's okay, Connect.
Okay. So we can put our cameras and have a group photo. So Abdul Razak, we were just finishing on the live session today. Would